Let's see if people join. All right, participants, go attendees. If not, we can all just share our personal stories about life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, all that fun stuff. We got one attendee. It is. How's it going, Jeremy? Welcome to today's Lunch and Learn. I'll be your host, Jared. I'm on the training team. And if you have any question, type the question in the chat, or if you want to ask it over voice, I can enable the microphone and you can speak and tell me your question. Welcome, Amanda. If you have a question, feel free to type it in the chat if you want me to answer it, or if your question is easier spoken than typed out, let me know and I can give you permission to speak, and we can share your use case or what other predicament you may have. Same goes for you, Brent. If you have any question, feel free to ask in the webinar chat, or I can take you off mute and you can ask me your question here. Currently today, there's no pre-submitted questions, so I have nothing to go off of. So feel free to pop in some questions. All right, we got one question from Amanda. I need help deserializing a JSON input. I'm going to go ahead and give you ability to talk, Amanda. Could you expound upon that? What type of input or what type of thing you're trying to deserialize?
Yes, I'm picking a JSON string and I need to deserialize it so that I can run it through my rule set.
Okay.
So I just have, the large JSON string and want to deserialize it into its individual inputs within decisions.
Is the data in the JSON string like confidential, or is it stuff that you could just like paste in the chat and I can like mess with and figure out?
Yeah, no, right now it's mostly just dummy data for starting the project. So I should be able to grab some.
Yeah, if you can paste it in the chat, I'll do that live and I'll kind of walk through how I kind of, deserialize and serialize inputs. Oh man, ran out of water. Unfortunate Wednesday. While you get that, I'm just gonna walk to the water fountain, grab a drink of water, and just let me know when you paste it in the chat, Amanda, and I'll run back to my desk.
Right.
All right. Did you get that?
Yeah,
JSON
I'm having
string?
some trouble. I think that like my security stuff's not letting me paste between. Can I email it to you?
Yeah, Jared@decisions.com. I'll put my email in the chat so you can email it to me. Boom. Oh, let me open up my email. And we're gonna check out my email. It looks like, oh, haven't gotten just yet.
Hopefully it's heading that way.
Yep, I'm pretty sure it's on its way. Because this fun stuff. As we're waiting for that, I'm gonna go ahead and start preparing my environment for some tests. If I can spell it, that's not how you spell local. All right, I'm gonna create a new project. I'm gonna name it after you. This is gonna be called Amanda Serialization. Since we're just doing serialization, I'm just gonna say we just need the flows folder and the data types folder, and then I'll generate this project. I'll also send this project to you so that you can see how I did it. All right, and look at that. Good timing Wednesday. It came just as I said it. Okay, cool. Man, that's a huge one. All right, cool.
Oh, it's
So
going to
this
be really
is
big. This is just the beginning. So,
oh really?
yeah.
This is just the beginning. All right, cool. Well, we will do it this one. All right, cool. So what
Because essentially we're
will
taking this JSON is going to be an entire dynamic questionnaire, essentially. So the entire thing will be a questionnaire, question and answer, and then I'll be passing it through rule sets and then
perfect?
passing it back and forth. So
Okay, cool,
it will
cool.
grow.
Boom. All right, I'm gonna put this here. All right, I got this on my notepad. Let me just grab my Slack. Move this over here. And then we're gonna have some fun. All right, cool. So now I have this. So if I needed to serialize this, the main thing that you'd have to do if you want to deserialize is you'll have to add this into a JSON data structure. And maybe you've done that and maybe there's some errors, but I'm going to go ahead and do that in my data types. So what I like to do anytime I deal with like serialized JSON, I don't know if the JSON's valid. So what we do here typically is we will go to like this website called JSON lint or JSON formatter. It doesn't really matter what type of formatting website you use. It just helps us to know if the JSON's valid. So I'm going to paste your JSON here and just validate it. Boom! Look at that, magic. All right, so it says that it is a valid JSON. So perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this JSON that we have here, and then now I'm going to flip back into decisions. Now, in order to make it something that decisions could deserialize, this is where you're going to utilize the create data types from JSON right here. So once I click left click create data types from JSON, I'm going to call this the, let's see, this is, I'm trying to think what would be a good name for this thing. This is going to be
Underwriting questions, if that's
perfect. Underwriter.
just do UW question.
Underwriter queues. And then I'm going to paste this JSON here, and boom, we got this JSON. And now you'll see that I have the question, which is the sub data type in here. And then I have the underwriter queue, which is, what I'm calling um, that data type. So I'm going to go ahead. You want to make sure you select all because you want to create all of those data types. What this does in the background is it actually looks through your JSON and says, what are the kind of objects or composite types inside of it? So it will identify it. And then when you click create, it will then create a flow structure, which is a non-storable data structure in decisions that allows us to do the serialization, deserialization, and all that stuff and what have you. All right, cool. So let's say I'm actually going to do a really cool test here. So I'm going to, is there like a serializer online? I'm gonna look if there's JSON serializer online, because I just want to get this best JSON serial, JSON, yeah, it's perfect. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create this kind of test case to make it more kind of, similar to what you're in. Yay, I think it's serialized. I remember this, if I'm looking at this correctly. So if I get this long serialized string, I feel like it dropped some of the data. I'm not sure. No, it didn't. Okay. All right, cool. So now I'm going to copy this. And let's say I have my string. I'm going to go into my, where's your project? Oh, right, I'm in it. So this is my flow with serialized data. And I'm going to create this. And then I'm going to use a create data step just to show this. All right, cool. Create data. Once it loads, come on, come on, come on, version 8. Don't fail me now. Okay, I'm just going to click off this, click off that. My goodness. Let me close this flow, go back into it. I probably need to restart my environment. There we go. Toolbox. All right, so I'm going to put my create data step here, and this is just going to be my JSON string. right? And then I'm actually going to paste that serialized string inside of it. So this is probably more close to what you're dealing with, where you have some environment, outputting this JSON value, this kind of long string, and you wanted to serialize it to make it more accessible. So the reason why we had to do that create data type thing first is because now we can go ahead and utilize this step called JSON deserialize. Serialize. Come on. Someday. So in the next 10 years, we'll get a response from this, and then it will process it. So there we go, finally. So now I have this one. And so now I have my long serialized string. Because I created this JSON data type, I can say, okay, I want to utilize this kind of underwriter queue, which is going to contain the entire prompt that I want to deserialize from. So I'm going to go ahead and let's connect this. Let's go ahead and select from flow, and let's see if it works. And if it doesn't, we'll have some fun troubleshooting it together. So let's debug. We're going to run this. It's going to take a bit. Looks like it ended in an error, so perfect. Now we can work on how we figure this out. So it says that it came to an unexpected character. So I honestly think it's something to do with my, wait a minute, I think I know why. I think the online serializer that I used added additional characters. So let me change how this works. We're just gonna make it like that. All right, cool. Now let's debug it. Let's see if it works. Nope. Error again. And we shall see line 1S. All right, let's do it another way. I'm going to take this JSON pretty data that I got from you. Let me go ahead and I'm just going to paste that in here. Now let's see what happens. Still an error. Questions. This is the error you get. I just want to make sure that I'm
I
troubleshooting
haven't
the
really
exact same.
gotten this far. I was trying to do it differently, which wasn't correct. I was trying to look at some of the different um, example labs, so I wasn't really sure how to.
Okay, I got you. Well, perfect. So then I'm going to troubleshoot this just a little bit more. So let's see. So we got this. See, I don't see this in my. Let me make sure that my data set's accurate because I feel like there's something that I used here. Yeah, that's accurate. So why is it adding extra characters to it? So I'm actually going to delete this. I think there's something weird going on with my. Okay, cool. So now it's just it has extra. Hey, there we go. Yeah, so basically I used a weird serializer online that added extra like characters that it didn't work. So that's why mine was airing out. But as you
Is
can
the
see here,
serializer step necessary?
say what step again?
Was using a serializer necessary?
No, I was trying to put my data into a serialized format so you can kind of see like what it would look like if I'm passing a serialized thing and then when I deserialize it.
Got
So the serialization, that was just for the setup of the scenario. But so as you can see here, once we have that serialized string, then you pass it in, then you can get access to the different groupings of the data. So I have my drop-down list options, choice 1, choice 2, choice X, last claim date, any options, decline because, dot, 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 insert punchline here, right? So that's how you would do it. It's just, what I think the steps you probably missed was just the create data types from JSON, from the data types, not there, data types here, and then you can utilize the JSON deserialize step to then deserialize it into a format that you can then manipulate the data with.
Okay. And then so though once those are in the deserialized point,
Mm-hmm.
can they be used as can I then pass that as input data?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to add another, let's create another folder so I can show you this. This is going to be like my rule. All right, well, I'll just call this Amanda rule set. And I'll just create a really quick rule set. So the thing that I'll be referencing, create a rule set, say this is set of rules, right? and I could say the input data. And remember, the input data wouldn't be the serialized string. The input data would be the data type that I defined here. So this kind of underwriter queue, whatever the flow structure that was created from your JSON type. So that's the thing that you would pass. So in my set of rules, my input is going to be, right, let's say this is underwriter question object, and then over here I can type underwriter, and I have my underwriter queue, right? And let's say I'm going to add a rule, add a valuation rule that says is object something. We'll just have this as a test rule. And then now I can interface with that underwriter, not underwriter, under question object. And I can see if the, I don't know, line of business is, new glasses for Josh Lax, new glasses for Josh Lax, right? So we'll do that. And then if I run this into going back to my flow here, and I call my run rule set step, run rule set, I'll put it on the done path, pick my rule set. Let's see, Amanda rule set of rules, right? And you'll see my input is the underwriter question, and on the output of my JSON deserialize step. Now, I don't know why this does this, but whenever you do utilize the JSON deserialize step and it works, your output will be set to ignore. Probably a DT or a bug in this version, but all you have to do is make sure you set this to rename so that the variable is then output, and then all I need to do is just say, hey, let's select from flow and grab the deserialized output of my underwriter, and then when I debug this, you'll see that it runs through my test. So GL equals new glasses for Josh Lax false, and it ran based on that set of data. Awesome. All right, I'm going to save this and I'll give you this export so you can see how I did it.
Thank you.
My pleasure. All right, I think it's the first one. Yeah, I think the timing's different. I want to say it's the first one. 3 minutes ago, it's the bottom one. And I'm replying to you via email. We'll do the bottom one. Actually, let me just confirm. I want to make sure I get the right one. Downloads. And I don't think it's this one. I'm just gonna, how about, let's do this. I'm gonna delete both of them. If I run the download again, now this one is the correct. Boom. All right, just sent you a response with that export so you can import it in your environment and test it out.
Thanks.
My pleasure. All right, any other questions that I can answer? Brent, Jeremy, you got any questions? Okay, negative, I like listening. Boring Wednesday for me. I gotcha. They're interested in that. Well, I'm messing around with something and I will probably do this live because this will be just a fun thing. Well, I'm not sure if I could with the keys and stuff. Yeah, actually, I don't think I could. I was gonna mess around with something with OAuth. I've been trying to figure out something, try to set it up, and thought that'd be something good, but I don't think I could demonstrate it with the information because it's too specific. But let's see. Anyone seen version 9? Heard about it? Not yet. Okay, cool. Well, I will give you a tiny little sneak peek of version 9 so you guys can see it. All right, I'm gonna go to my version 9 server. All right, so in version 9, the biggest thing I'll give you guys kind of like the sneak peek. In version 9, the biggest difference is the design. Log in, come on. Don't fight me. Come on. There we go. The biggest difference is there's a huge design paradigm change within version 9. So as soon as you see this, the first thing you're going to notice is that version 9 does not have the traditional user and dashboard type of layout yet. And I'm going to delete some of these projects because these are all test projects here. Um, there's going to be a lot of new different design paradigms because the goal of version 9 is to get everyone to develop inside of these views called project hub. That's essentially what all of this is. It is just project. It is what we call project hub. Now the thing you'll notice is that there's no traditional designer and studio like we have in version 8. So version 8, I have a studio. I click over here, I'm in the portal. But in version 9, I don't have that. I just have a project hub view and all this stuff. So this is a pretty cool kind of view, all that stuff. We're still on version 6. Wow, yeah. Version 6, funny story, version 6 was the new version for me when I first started working at Decisions. Um, so so we have all these projects here. Now, the cool thing about version 9 is let's go ahead, let's create a demo project for us so you can kind of see what that looks like in version 9. So after I delete a couple of projects so that the system is not as sluggish, I'm going to create a new project and I'm going to call this, let me grab an oxygen tank so I can breathe. And then we'll call this LNL V9 demo. That's what we'll call this. And then I'm going to say this is the LNL V9 demo thingy. And then we will click create. So as we click create, it's going to transform and navigate us to an entirely different view. And this view is going to be called the project hub view. Now, I tell a lot of people the main thing that you'll want to focus on in version 9, if you ever want to test it, or if you're part of the testing of version 9, is that the info dashboard is the bread and butter of where you'll spend most of your time in decisions for version 9. It's got tiles that you can add and see all of the different flows, rules, data types, and everything you have here. You also have these different tabs to declare dependencies, histories, integrations, and all that fun stuff. So, but the cool thing about it is remember how we did that project scaffolding in version 8? In version 9, this is default. This is all created for you upon the project creation. So that's what happens there. So all this is created. Let me go ahead and create a flow real quick. Cool flow stuff. And then I'm going to start to step to end step, and then I will close this. And then we shall see if I go back to the info panel, I have information of all the entities that I've created with this project that I can see here, and all of these tiles are now clickable. And then if I click info, I can see I have a project health score. This project health score primarily gives a score based on certain descriptions like anything here, for validation issues, unit tests, error handling, and all the score that you have here is just kind of a calculation of these criterias right here. So that's what the health area is for. The other really cool thing about project views is all of your settings is located on the project level. So in version 8, right, if I go to version 8 and I go back to the Designer Studio and I click the settings, I'm going to see the settings for every single project, regardless of what project we're working for. Or I don't know if that's a word, but for any, regardless of what the project is, you will see that, right here. But in version 9, we have changed this. So now your settings are only on the project hub level, which is very nice because things like jobs and events and scheduled jobs, instead of going to that kind of catch-all folder in version 8, which shows like 80 scheduled jobs for 40 or 70 projects, you don't have to worry about that because all we have here is you'll only see the scheduled jobs and any type of message queues that are just used for this project. Same thing with configurations. So if you have any data variables or SDK extensions or designer extensions that you want to add, all that stuff will be here. If you have any custom integrations, it's all tied to the project level and only this project can access it and view it. So it just makes things a lot more easier to filter through and have everything in one location. Same thing with security. So all your assignments, your groups, your roles, everything's tied to the project level so that only the associated project that needs the ability to access this will have that ability. So it's really cool, really fun. In scheduled jobs, that's where any logs that have happened for the scheduled jobs or difficulties, all that stuff you can find here, for troubleshooting and things like that. You can also expand health. And in health, that's where you get any error handling, default error handling project that you want to use for this project. You can take a look at the logs, right? If I want to troubleshoot errors in my project. And also, I can also look at the profiler. So everything is constrained into this project hub view, which I think is one of the coolest things. So that's kind of our mini kind of tour of version 8. There's a lot of cool other things too, like some basic ones that I'm sure you noticed is, no, go back to my project. Where did it go? I lost it. This is LNL, there we go. What I was trying to do is, as I was just trying to go into the flows folder, and just show that there's some quality of life updates to the icons up here. So they are, instead of it being characters that are like a text is what I'm trying to say, they have been iconized. I think that's the word. So like saves the floppy disk. The flag does something. F flag gives you a checkpoint. Undo, redo, pretty much the same. You can cut, paste. Debugging is a bug. And then dependencies or compare allows you to compare different flows. And then this hierarchical icon is dependencies. So all of the flows, forms, rules, and designers have been changed into this specific iconized view. So pretty cool. Alrighty, that's that. Anyone have any other comments or questions? All right, cool. Yeah, my pleasure. I don't see any more questions. So what I'm going to do so that Amanda can get her recording is I'm going to end the Lunch and Learn call right now. This way we can get this recorded. You guys can all access the recording. It'll be on YouTube. And tomorrow we have another Lunch and Learn with Robert, a very smart dude. He'll be able to answer your questions over anything in decision. So feel free to join that one. Tomorrow will be the last Lunch and Learn for this week until next week when we restart on the following week. So thank you so much for attending, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Jared.